Welcome to the Army Empire Podcast, your go-to podcast for insightful tips on investment strategies, entrepreneurship, and all things money matters. Join Bernard Alerte, your guide on this journey to financial freedom. Each episode will dive into expert advice, practical strategies, and inspiring stories to help you take control of your financial future. Whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur or a seasoned investor, we've got something for everyone. So get ready to unlock your financial potential and make your money work for you. And now, let's welcome your host, Bernard Alerte.
Hello.
Oh, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing incredible.
Awesome. Listen, we love Tuesdays. We love Tuesdays because we get to jump on here and get to learn more of all things financial education. And
Yes.
you can already see on the screen, those that are watching on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, we always welcome our audience. We have an amazing topic today. Let's share.
Yes, we're going to talk about the 3Ds of investing. We talked about that past episodes, but we're going to kind of revisit it from a different perspective so people can see. We're going to go over a little detail, a more technical detail, show actual numbers for people aware of, because we want to back when we have concepts we teach families, we want to back them up with facts, backing up with specific things that are very real for them to be able to see and kind of gravitate on, lock in on.
Definitely. And that's one thing that we love when we're here is that you are backing all these things up with facts, and not just with that, with the experience that you have since you've been doing this for over 25 years. So that's
Absolutely.
Amazing. Well, I'm
That's
looking forward to this topic. Listen, I got my pen and paper ready, and let's do this.
Yes, let's talk about 3D. Let's talk about the cycle of market emotions. This is what most people go through, right? When it comes to the market and investing, people are concerned about that, right? If you think about the cycle, if you look at it, first there's optimism, right? First people start investing, especially right now, there's optimism and people start getting returns and they get excited, right? Then they get thrilled. Oh my gosh, things are happening, right? Then they get euphoria, point like this, start, my God, my money. And you see you bragging about my money did this. But guess what happens? Whatever goes up comes down. One thing is guaranteed about the market: is going to go up, it's going to go down. It's going to go up, it's going to go down. This is one thing I tell everyone on my class. And one thing I can guarantee you 100%. The market's going to go up, it's going to go down, right? It's going to go up, it's going to go down. I can't tell you when it's going to go up or when it's going to go down, but I'll tell you it's going to go up. But if we follow some principles, we can alleviate, we can maximize on the ups, and we can minimize on the downs, risk on the downs. Makes sense to be, right? So then you get a max. That's where you get excited, right? Then guess what? It starts going down. Guess what? You get anxiety. People get anxious, right? They're like, oh, it's okay, no big deal, right? Then fear. If you like the emotion, fear kicks in, right? Or the market goes down. This is where people make mistakes, right? Desperation and panic. You start listening to other people. You listen to the news, right? The news is there just to create panic. It's just to scare you, right? For example, there's no new good news is never travel fast. You never hear, but guess what? When the bad news, oh my God, this happened. It's all over the place. Front page news, right? You never hear what happen on front page news. Never happens. But bad thing happens, it's right there. In desperation, panic, right? When people make bad mistakes. This is why it's very important to have an advisor. I was talking to someone that said, listen, the reason you have an advisor or someone that works with you is not to help you when everything's going good. Is when things are not going good, to prevent you from mistakes that cost you money. That's why you have someone. This is why I always have someone to work with. This is why having an advisor, someone to work with, increases on average return by 20-25%. Why? Because they prevent you from making mistakes and what? Panic, capitulation, pessimism, right? And guess what? At the bottom, if you look at it, it's the point of a maximum financial opportunity.
Yes.
Right? This is where you maximize. Guess what happens, right? Then it goes back up. Skepticism is going up. Market's going up a little bit. People get nervous, right? Then hope, relief, optimism. And you see the cycle? And this is the cycle people go through. The cycle of market emotions. the goal is we want to teach families not to make decisions during those emotions, not to make bad decisions, right? Because when you make when emotions are either at too high or too low, you make bad decisions. When emotions are too high, oh my gosh, you get too aggressive and you make the wrong mistakes sometimes, right? And versus, I hear that all the time. Like, for example, you know how many times I got to call, oh my gosh, I heard this person got crypto and all this when I'm in, like, don't do anything. Don't do anything. Yeah, but my friend just doubled his money. Like, don't do anything. Why? Because high and you make mistakes. You make mistakes. And I hear on the also make mistakes. Oh my gosh, everything is I should move my money. And no, don't make, because guess what happens? It's never a loss. It's always when you see your statements go down, it's called paper loss. It's not a real loss. When you move it to something very conservative or you move it, this is when you actually lost. Yes, you lost. It's just paper loss, pretty much, right? So this is why it's very important for people to go through this not make the wrong decisions during those emotions, right? So let's talk about proven investment fundamentals. Remember the 3 Ds of investing, right? We call it dollar cost averaging. What does that mean? It's investing a fixed amount of regular intervals, eliminates to predict where the market goes up and go down, right? And we're going to show you something that shows you the power of dollar cost averaging. Being disciplined by staying focused, right? Staying focused and staying invested to all the market activity. You can increase long-term potential because missing even a handful of the best performing days in the market over time can consider diminish your returns. It's to stay disciplined. Dollar cost averaging, investing on a regular basis where the market goes up and goes down, being disciplined no matter what happens, stay in the course, right? Stay in the course, which is being disciplined. And the third is diversification. You have to make sure you diversify, right? Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Make sure you're investing, you're diversified, in other words, right? Which is so important, right? So let's look at what are some experts are saying, right? Bull markets are, like we talk about, a born, but there's a different bull market and bear market, right? What's the difference? A bull market is a market where it's going up, where everything's going up. That's a bull market. A bear market is when it's going down. It's going down a little bit, right? So a bull markets are born on pessimism. Why is that? And grow on skepticism and mature in optimism and die on euphoria. It's very important. What does that actually mean? Bull market, when there's people are pessimistic, right? The right investors understand, they start buying. So they're born from pessimism, right? And they grow on skepticism. When you're skeptical, they invest more, right? And they mature in optimism, right? Because people get excited, like their emotions, right? And they die in euphoria. But because guess what? When there's too much dying, it goes down a little bit, right? That's what happens, right? Another statement from an expert, right? See, this is what people don't understand. You make most of your money in a bear market, but you just don't realize it at the time. We make most of the returns you're gonna get. People that are investing on a monthly basis for a long time, you actually make most of your money on a bear market. When the market goes down, this is when you make most of your money, not when it goes up. Because if you invested on a bear, this is exactly when it starts making a big difference. And we're going to show a difference over a period of time, what actually means, right? If you look at it, right? Bad news, again, Warren Buffett said, bad news is an investor's best friend. Bad news is an investor's best friend. It lets you buy a slice of the American future at marked down price. When there's bad news happening, you hear the news, get excited, because this is when you're going to create your wealth. This is when you're going to create your wealth. Why? Because people panic and they start selling shares. And when the share is being sold, someone is buying it, and you buy those shares. Right? Wealthy investors like, oh my gosh, the market goes down. Let me invest some more money. That's the mindset people should have. Let me invest more money. When do you buy a house? When the market real estate is the highest or at the lowest? You want to get at the lowest. People get investing backwards, right? They think they have to buy at the high when everyone's buying. No, you have to buy when no one is buying. This is when create wealth. This is how you build wealth. So whenever you hear bad news happen, I want you to shift your mind. Whenever you hear bad news happening in the market, in the news, get excited. When you see, oh, the market, Dow Jones went down 300 points or 500 points or 1,000 points. This is what it's like, oh my gosh, that's the best news ever.
Mm-hmm.
Call your advisor, call your broker. I want to invest somewhere today. Call you if you put money on a monthly basis. I want to increase my contributions today. Right?
Interesting.
Exactly. Why? Let's look at the tale of two investors, right? One investor is investing in a rising market, right? Two investors, they're putting $100 a month, right?
Mm-hmm.
$100 a month. And one is investing in a rising market. You see what the share price at $20 a share. And one is investing in a fluctuating market, right? For over that period of time, same $100 a month. If you ask them, which one would you prefer? Right? Number A. People say, hey, one rising market, right? But here's what I tell people: be one of them. A or B, doesn't matter. Be one of them, right? Be one of them, because that means you actually investing something. Be one of them. Whether it's right, be one of them, right? So let's look at the numbers. What does dollar cost averaging means, right? Investor A investing, right? Investing $100 a month. Look at the month one, $10 a share. Month two is go down $8.33, right? 14, right? You see it, you see that, right? Investor A, right? And at that point in time, investor A, you see the share price, right? Price per shares, it goes up every linear. It goes up 10, 12, 14. But if you look at it, the more the share price, the more you're buying, right? The higher, the more expensive share price, the less shares you're buying. You see that, right? Versus investment fluctuates at $10, it goes down to $7. Guess what happens? You bought more shares. It down to $4. Oh my gosh. This is when people panic. This is where people lose millions, because when the share price goes down to $4, like, oh my gosh, let's jump ship. This is when you buy 25 shares, right? If you look at it, investor A accumulated $42, right? 42 shares. Investor B, 126 shares.
Mm-hmm.
You see that? And if you look at the share price, it's told, right? If you look at the share price, it ends up being a lot, right? Because 20 times 30 is like 800 or something like that, where 10 times 126, almost 1100 or something, 1126. The investor B, because his dollar cost average, it doesn't matter. He's not worried about. It's like, I'm investing money every month, or I'm investing money. If you're a 401k, you have money coming out every week or every 2 weeks out of your paycheck. It doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, you want the share price. I want a condition. When the share price goes down, when you see that go down and you're investing, you need to pat yourself on the back, because this is when you're going to make most of your wealth. This is when you're going to accumulate most of your wealth, when you're buying shares at a lower price and it's going back up, right? But people say, well, you know what? If that's the case, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait to buy, to get things at a lower share, right? I'm going to wait to that. I'm going to look. You can't time the market. And let me show you real quick, right? Why is and let me tell 5 investors, right? This is what happens when people make bad mistakes, emotional mistakes, right? A tale of 5 investors, right? This is, guess what? 5 investors each invested $10,000 in the stock market in September 2008 and kept their investment through the market crash, right, of February 2009. By the end of February, each was left with $5,800. Each invested $5,800, right? And let's look at over 2025, that what each of them did, because of their mindset. Number one, investor one sold their stock, where a lot of people did. They said, that's it, sold your stock and put the money on their mattress. I'm not investing anymore. It's not for me. Guess what happened? They're stuck with $5,800, right? Investor, second investor, right, sold their stock and then just invested in bonds. So, you know what? I got to be more conservative. Let me move the stock and put in bonds, more conservative, right? They would have $7,268, right? Guess what? Investor 3 held on to the stock and made no further investments. That means they held on to it. Said, you know what? I'm not going to do anything. Hold on. Guess what happened? They have over a period of time $74,000, $487, right? Investor 4, guess what they did? They sold, invested, put in stock and put it in bonds, but they start putting $625 a month. So what they did, say, you know what? I need to invest my future, but I can't be, and I've seen it happen a lot. I said, I want to invest my future, but I'm going to move it somewhere more conservative because I can't deal with the fluctuations, right? They would have 157,000, right? I've seen that happen. Reason that, because I've seen, like, for example, I've sat down with families where maybe they had money invested in 2028 and 2008, for example, right? And all of a sudden they moved it conservative because it started to go down. And guess what happened? They stayed conservative for the past 20 years, 18 years. Guess what happened? It made a big difference. 157,000. Where investor 5 say, you know what? They held onto the stock. I'm not moving. I'm not doing anything. Guess what happened? But I'm going to invest $625 a month added to it. Look at the big difference. 564,000.
Wild.
Right? Big difference. Right? And I'll tell you, number one is no matter what, stay invested, no matter what, and actually invest money on a monthly basis. That makes a big difference. Because what happened? Investor 5 said, man, great time to start investing money. The market is at the discount. I'm going to invest money every month. I'm going to max out my Roth, right? Right. So if you look at the next slide, right? Let's take history is a great teacher, right? End of a bear market, right? History is a great teacher, right? This end of bear market, right? Guess what happened? At the end of this is each bear market that we've had recently, right? For the past couple of decades, right? Number one, at the end of 9/20/20, right? So see, guess what happens? Rate of return was -11, right? Guess what happened? After 1 year, 5 years, 49%. The market went up 49%. So what happened is if someone at that point in time decide, you know what, I'm going to take my money, guess how much returns they would have lost? 8%, right? If you look at, it's always gone up at a 5-year time frame. It's gone up, right? 2002, right? 36% after 1 year, right? 2028, right? You see that after 2020, when the market went, guess what happens, right? Look at the big difference. This is where a lot of wealth was created. This is why a lot of wealth was lost in 2028 when the market went down. What we had the market, right? Guess what happened? People start pulling their money out. Guess what happened? Look at the returns they would have lost. Look at the returns. A lot of people, 164% returns. See, the question, the major question, if your financial goals haven't changed, should your approach to investing, it shouldn't change. Unless your financial goals change, don't do anything. And we can help you answer that question. This is why history is a great teacher, no matter what. All right. If you look at the next slide, right? It's not timing. It's time in the market, not timing the market that matters. It's time in the market. I'm not timing the market. A lot of people want to time the market. There's so many people who want to be in a footy pajamas. Oh, I'm going to be a day trader and I'm going to do this and that. And no, it's time in the market that matters, right? One $10,000 investment S&P 500 each year immediately following a market high or market low, right? You see the difference? At a market high, look at the account value. I'm not going to go all the account, but this is the difference, right? At the market high or market low. If you look at it, it's not that much of a difference. You see the numbers? It's not that great of a difference. So either way, right? And investing at a market low get a better returns to be over a period of time. But it's not that much of a difference. So the key is it doesn't matter. It's to stay invested. It's not timing the market. Everybody trying to find it's just invest the money and just let it grow.
That's the key right there.
Discipline. This is where the discipline D is this. We talk about dollar cost averaging. This is where discipline comes from. It's the time in the market. Stay in, stay invested, right? So let me be clear on one point, Warren Buffett. I can't predict the short-term movements of the stock market. I haven't the faintest idea where the stock. This comes from the they call it the Omaha or something like that. He was the best investor. Is the best investor ever, right? See, guess what he said. This is the right. Let me be at one point. I can't predict short-term with the stock market. I have the faintest idea where the market will be higher or lower a month, a year from now. What is likely, however, is that the market will move higher, perhaps substantially so, well before either sentiment or the economy turns up. So what he's sharing with us is stay invested. Stay invested in the market, right? Discipline. Stay in. Don't just move. Don't just like get out. Okay. Don't freak out.
Yeah.
In other words, right?
Yeah, because that consistency is gonna pay off of
A
always
hundred
being on
percent.
time.
100%, 100%, right?
So
And this
good.
is, we talk about invest with your head, not the headlines, right? This is returns, right? Every year there's something happening, right? If you look at every year there was something, look, and it tells you the returns of the market during that time, right? If you look at the headlines, look at from 1996 to 2025. Out of all the headlines that were bad, there was only, if you look at how many years we have, at 3, 4, 5, 6 years out of the past 30 plus years.
Mm-hmm.
Out of 30 plus year, we had 6 years where the returns were negative, and 24 that was positive, right? Budget crisis, Asian crash, Y2K, tech stocks, terrorist attacks, right? All these different things, financial crisis. I mean, all these different things that happened that was in the news. 24 of them out of 30 of them from 1996, about 30-year time frame, pretty much. 24 of them were positive, and 6 were negative.
Mm-hmm.
You see the power. See, over a period of time, you can achieve your investor goals regardless of the headlines.
So good.
Regardless of the headlines. And this is very complicated slide, but it tells you if you diversify is a time-tested principle, right? And it tells you, for example, the different returns, which market give us the highest, right? During that time frame, long-term, it shows you everything, all different sectors, like long-term bonds, small stocks, large caps, international stocks, all the different, how you're going to be diversified during that time frame, right? All these years, it gives you the returns from 2011 to 2025, the returns you've gotten from all these different sectors, right? At it, some of them negative, positive, but if you look at now, the next slides I'm going to show you will blow you away, will make a big difference, right? If you look at small cap stock, what are small cap stocks? Small cap stocks are usually stocks that are like smaller companies that are growing. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And it gives you the returns of that market, right? Of that sector, right? If you tell from 2011, if you look at it, some positive years, some lower, it shows you every return. You see that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're right. Now, if you look at the next one, right? Next slide is what? International stocks, right? Right. It shows you the returns international during the same exact time frame.
Yeah. Yeah. The ebbs and flows. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Right. And if you look at the next slide, right? Next slide is large caps. Large caps costs are companies that are bigger companies, you know, like the Pfizer's, the Amazon, bigger company. It shows you their performance during that time, right?
Okay.
Or during the same time frame, right? If you look at its ups and downs, you see that, right?
In all of them.
Long-term government bonds, higher, lower, it shows you everything, right? During that time, right? If you look at the last one, right, is treasury bills, a little bit, right, a little more conservative, right? You've seen that. But the key is if you were to mesh all those slides, all those different markets together, sectors together, if you're diversified, you will win one way or another.
Right, because you're somewhere in all of them.
Somewhere here. So the key is to stay diversified because some markets will perform better than others during that time frame. So that's why diversification is important. And this is one of the concepts, diversify, right? And guess what? One of the best ways is mutual fund, right? Mutual fund. What's an effective vehicle, Bernard? And we always talk about that, right? For long-term investment vehicles is mutual funds. Mutual funds very important. Mutual individual investors investing together in professionally managed fund. Average mutual fund has about 150 stocks on average, right? So they may have different funds, different companies, and some of them may have different sectors together, right? So if you're investing mutual funds 100, so guess what happens? I like to use the analogy I like to use as mutual fund. Here's what you got to look at. Imagine if you have two windows, right? Two windows. And one window has a lot of little grids, right? Like a bunch of little grids. One window, like maybe I have 30 or 40 grids in one window. And one window is just one big window, right? If your kids are playing outside, right, and they hit a baseball, boom, it goes side. Let's say if it hits the window where there's like a bunch of little grids, guess what happens? The window cracks, only that small grid cracks. You don't replace the whole window. You replace what? That small little grid. Right? Yeah. Which might be a company. So you have money managers, right? Their job, they have 100. So if one company is not performing good, or they see there's they may go in the wrong direction, they replace that company and they replace with
Yes.
a company.
Yes. Oh my God, that's so good. And my husband puts a window emoji.
You know, right?
That is that's such an awesome analogy for mutual funds because then you don't
Mhm.
have to fix just one. You just grab the little.
That little one,
So
replace it.
good.
Versus if you have a big window, if you invest in individual stock, an
Mhm.
individual stock, if that stock, you have a mess in your hand. You have to replace the whole window. Right? So this
Wow.
mutual funds always give you over a period of time or give you
Yeah.
longer, better returns, right? Mutual funds earn money three ways. You get dividends. Because guess what happens? Mutual funds have a lot of companies put together. So guess what happens? A lot of companies give you dividends. So if you invest in Amazon, let's say they give dividends to their investor at that time, guess what happened? The dividends passed on to people that own the mutual funds too. So investors, if you invest in a mutual fund, you're gonna get some dividends also, right? You're gonna get capital gains. There's a capital gains, right? You're gonna make money that way too. Capital appreciation, where the share price goes up, you're gonna make money that way also, right? Again, it
Yeah.
fluctuates, and like just like disclaimer, should any of these earn depends where it's invested. You might be subject to taxation, and also the
Right.
value might fluctuate, right? Again, but if you
Mhm.
look at it, make money. 5 reasons to own a mutual fund. Very simple. Professional money management. You have professional money manager with the resources that their job is to look at those companies. Their job is to make money for the investors. That is their job,
Nice.
to make money for the investors. So they have the knowledge, they have the resources, they have the wherewithal
Mhm.
to do all the research that you and I may not have.
Yes, so good.
Right? So it's professionally money managed. People that are a lot smarter than us, that have more time on their hands to make sure that everything, because that's what they do 24 hours a day. So
Mhm. Mhm.
manage
Yeah.
diversification asset. There's a lot of companies, right? There's a lot of companies.
Mhm.
It's diversified on top of that. So people say, well, I wanna buy Amazon. I want to buy. Guess what? You find a fund that has all of them together, and you own all of them.
Yes.
I want to buy NVIDIA. I want to buy this and that. You find a company that has all of them. And I want to invest like people. I want to invest in AI. But guess what happened? And we're going to find an AI company to invest in mutual funds that have very technology based, that's very tech based, and that has a lot of different companies, right? And guess what
Yeah.
happened? You're
So
investing in,
many.
but you diversified.
Yeah, that's
Right?
so good.
You have a
Yeah.
lot of growth potential in a mutual fund,
Mhm.
right? Growth
Yep.
potential. It's affordable. Mutual funds are affordable. For the $50 a month, you can own a mutual fund.
Mhm. Mhm.
$50 a month, you
That's
can
so
own
good.
very little. So you can, whether you don't need to be wealthy to take advantage of that. See, if you're investing $50 a month, you're going to get the same returns as maybe there's institution that invest billions of dollars. You're going to get the same returns.
Mhm.
If you invest in a mutual fund, if you invest in this specific mutual fund, right, and this company has millions of dollars in this mutual fund, and let's say you have your little $50 a month or $100 a month going in that mutual fund, you're gonna get the same return as that company has millions of dollars. They're not gonna give, okay, you have millions of dollars, we're gonna give you better returns. No, you're gonna get the same exact returns if they're invested in
Yes.
that fund. Right?
Mhm.
So it's very liquid also. It's very easy. If you have a mutual fund, you have access. It's very easy to have access to it. Very easy. You can
So
go
good.
online. It's not locked in. A lot of mutual funds not locked in. You can go in there if you go online yourself or call your advisor, listen, I want to have some money, and you go online and you transfer money into mutual fund to your bank account within 24, 48 hours it gets to your bank account. So it's very liquid. You don't have to go to
Yeah.
a mess or a bunch of paperwork, anything like that, to have access to your money if you need to. Makes
Those are the
sense?
five good
Right?
reasons right
Why
there.
every single person should have a mutual fund. But the sad
Agree.
part is only 7 out of 10 people. I'm not 3 or 4 out of 10 people own a mutual in the United States, and the 6, 7 out of 10 don't even know how to get one.
Mm.
Don't even know. It's available for everyone. Doesn't know because the reason it's not because it's not something that's readily available for people to do it unless an advisor. Because most of the financial companies out there, they cater to people that make a lot of money. So most financial companies are not willing to, even banks are not willing to talk to you about putting $50 a month or $100 a month. There's very few firms that are actually willing to do that. We're willing to do that, where we can actually, whether you have $50 a month, we can show you how to set up a mutual fund. Advisors, most advisors, 95% of the industry, they don't want that.
Wow.
If you say, I want to put $100, they'll say we can't help you. Get 100,000, get $500,000, then we'll talk. And that's the problem. The lack of education that's out there for people to have access to be able to put money aside for a mutual fund and be able to do that. Okay, that's something that's so good. That's the challenge that we have, and this is why we need to fix that. We need to be able to fix that in the end, so people can have access to that, access to the information, and be able to help people do certain things. This is why, because of that, a lot of people they want to become an investor. They want to invest money. Guess what they do? That's why they fall to the trap of getting IULs, and that universal investor. Then what happens? You have insurance agents that are not investment. Like, okay, I can help you. I can have you take advantage. You can in the market. You can be an investor in the market, and guess what happens? And they end up getting an IULs, and they end up really losing money and paying a lot of fees and things like that. A lot of expenses that's not necessary, right? I mean,
so true.
Mutual fund, you have to research. You have to find like a company and try to do it on your own.
Yeah. Yeah, it's wild.
No one's gonna guide you. This is what's important. We want,
and we just saw all these slides, which were all teachable moments through all the slides that you just saw me go through. Listen, we're learning so much here. It's amazing, all the things that we learn here. This is truly financial education for everyone, no matter how old you are, whether you are single, whether you're married, you're newly married, or whether you've been married 20, 30 years, this is something that you need to have a conversation with a financial coach. And Bernard's email is scrolling below. Send him an email and say, I need to have a conversation with you. I saw your podcast. I've only seen one episode randomly on YouTube or randomly on Instagram or Facebook. And I just want to have a conversation with you. This is going to determine the future of your family, your legacy, and financial freedom.
Absolutely. And again, I just put a disclaimer. Mutual fund, there's risk in investing. Disclaimer. Mutual funds fluctuate, go up and go down. You might lose value. So I don't want anyone to think that you can't lose. Yes, mutual funds fluctuate, and they you showed us. You have to make sure that you have the right risk investment profile. So I will sit down with someone, find out what their risk tolerance is, and we'll set up something that's specific designed for them. From time frame is important, but we want people to know it's not like there's risk involved in any investment. Absolutely.
Yeah. So you do have a risk profile that you'll do with somebody where it kind of like tells them, I'm okay if I lose 50 something, but there might be somebody. But there may be somebody who I can't do something like that. I don't want to risk that much. So that's how you profile.
100%.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
I didn't. That's cool. I didn't know that. See, that's awesome. These are other little, so there's so many little, there's factors and layers of what it is that Bernard does. There's layers of what he does. It's not just that you're going to just go in and sign a document. And I'm going to give you my money. No, this is, what are you willing? What's your risk? What's
time frame? How much, what's it for? What's the purpose of it? The time frame? What is for? Tolerance? Are you okay with the different, and we'll customize something for that person. And
I love that. Yeah. And if you want you see that QR code on the screen, go ahead and snapshot that, and that'll be your free, your free
financial needs analysis. Yes,
your free financial needs analysis. I love it. So scan that, and that you can have a conversation with him. That's so good. Listen, this was a great conversation. 3Ds of investing. This is episode 85, my friends. This one's going down in the books. Thank you so much, Bernard, for your time. Thank you for sharing all of this information with us. Don't forget to share this with somebody. If you've watched, share this with somebody else. I know some folks watch throughout the week and they'll catch the replay. So thank you all for joining us today. Bernard, I'll see you next week.
See you next week. Looking forward to it.
Same time. All right, my brother. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye-bye.
Guys, bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Army Empire podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and share it with your friends. Join us next week for another exciting edition, and until then, keep building your empire.